Greetings, viewers and subscribers. I'm Miyota-san, and you are watching the Miyota-san channel. Made some improvements since the introductory video. For one thing, the camera is a lot more stable because I'm not holding it. So the picture shouldn't be shaking as much unless I kind of shake my head while you watch, but I won't do that because I understand maybe some viewers might have some motion sickness issues. I also have a background here with some swords, which has nothing to do with the topic because the topic of this video is guns. Specifically, reasons why people own and purchase firearms. One reason is freedom. Since we have the right to keep and bear arms, the more people who exercise that right, the more likely that right is to continue to exist. Because our system of government is one in which we democratically elect our representatives. So if lots of us are keeping and owning firearms and we feel like it's important to maintain that right, we're going to vote for people, candidates and representatives who will continue to defend that right. We can't count on people who disagree with that right or who don't care about that right to vote in a way that will protect our rights. So teach your kids, teach your friends about firearms and the importance of firearms and keeping our firearms rights in our society and in our nation. 2. Self-defense. I think self-defense is a huge reason why tons of people get into guns. They want to protect themselves from murderers or rapists or carjackers, home invaders, violent criminals, muggers, all of those things. But you could also use firearms to defend against wild animals. You know, if you're hiking in bear country and a big bear comes at you, you pull out your 44 Magnum and take it down. So you could use firearms as self-defense from animals. A rabid raccoon comes at you, you know, you can take it down with a firearm. It'd be handy to have that so you don't have to try to, you know, catch the raccoon after it bites you, take it to the clinic and have it tested for rabies and then get a million shots. Not fun. Self-defense against a tyrannical government. That's the original reason for our Second Amendment right. Because our forefathers had thrown off the yoke of British tyranny. The entire Bill of Rights, those 10 amendments to the Constitution, are all things to limit the power of the federal government, to keep it from getting back to that point where the government was oppressing the individual rights again. So having firearms is a deterrent from government tyranny. Also, number 3 is a deterrent. Deterrent from violent attacks. If people are using firearms for self-defense, a lot of perpetrators of violent crimes are going to rethink their career choice or their hobby of randomly attacking people because now there's a higher price. And that price might be getting shot by someone who has every right to defend themselves. Also, if you draw your firearm in self-defense, you should be ready to use it, but there's a possibility that that person might run away without you even having to shoot them. You might be able to fire a warning shot to scare away an animal, but again, you should be ready for that follow-up shot, just in case. Next would be hunting. Hunting is an American pastime. It's a way to provide food for yourself and your family. It's just kind of a fun outdoor sport. So hunting is a perfectly valid reason. Pest control is another one. In the city, pest control with a gun might not be a good idea. You've got a rabbit eating your flowers, shooting it probably is not the best choice because you might accidentally hit your neighbor's dog or your neighbor's kid. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's why discharging a firearm is illegal, you know, in the city, in your yard. So there are certain gun ranges where you can do that. But if you live out in the country and you don't want to put poison to poison the animals that come up, a firearm might be more practical. The reason you might not want to put poison to poison rabbits and stuff is that you might be poisoning yourself. You're putting poison right there with your own food that you're growing. Not a good idea. I would rather use a rifle to take down the little animals that are coming in and eating my vegetable garden. History and tradition. We have a long history and tradition in our nation. For everything from the Minutemen militia to the colonial patriots to the pioneers and homesteaders in their covered wagons with their scatterguns, living off the land and having to defend themselves when there's not a government there that is going to either regulate their self-defense or protect them in any way. You've got cowboys, you have our military veterans using iconic rifles and sidearms that are just a part of our history. So we have a rich history and tradition. America has a great history of rifle shooting, so that's just part of our culture. Self-sufficiency. Nowadays the government wants to do everything for you. They want to manage your health care. They want to be in control of your education. They are in control of most people's education. They're about to be in control of the health care. They want to control your money. They want to control whether you can have a large soda. There's so many different things the government wants to control, and they're pretty much all bad ideas. If you let the government control your self-defense, those police, they're going to show up in a few minutes. Now, I guarantee if you do something wrong, if you are violating some minor crime or speeding, police are going to be right there. But if you call them and you've got an emergency, it could take a few minutes before they get there, and you might not last a few minutes in a violent encounter. The police might be picking up the pieces. Fun. Firearms can be lots of fun. It's like the 4th of July, any day of the year. They're fun. You can do anything from trap shooting with a shotgun, shooting at clay targets. You can do run and gun, which is where some of those 25-round magazines come in handy. You're doing these tactical drills where you're running and ducking behind cover, popping up and shooting. You can do defensive handgun drills. You can do target shooting. So many fun things that you can do with firearms. It's a martial art. Now in martial arts tend to teach you self-defense, which guns also can be used for self-defense. But martial arts also teach you to connect your mind, your body, and your focus into a target or into a technique. And firearms really do the same thing. So I think that firearms really meet the criteria. They're consistent with what I see in the martial arts. There are even martial arts that involve, shooting arrows at targets or throwing shuriken at targets. So firearms are a martial art. Collecting. There's lots of cool collectible firearms, anything from cowboy 6-shooters to Confederate revolvers to Civil War rifles to World War I, World War II, all kinds of cool different guns. They're masterpieces, they're mechanical works of art, just lots of really neat things to collect. Investment is another thing. Investment, now not all firearms are investments, but some are. Military surplus firearms can be investments. Sometimes I see them double in price within a couple of years. And AR-15s, if you want to get into the speculative firearms investing, AR-15s, high-capacity magazines, ammunition, all those prices tend to fluctuate, but they'll go down for a while, and then this climate of political uncertainty comes along, and the prices shoot up. And that's when you sell for your profit. So if you know what you're doing, and you do your research, and you do your homework, then you could actually make a little bit of money investing in firearms. It could be your insurance and your 401k all at the same time. The end. No, wait. Not the end of the video. Don't turn it off yet. I'm talking about the end of all things. Now, I told you in my previous video, I'm a Christian, I believe the Bible, and what that tells me is eventually the world is going to end. And it doesn't sound like it's going to end in a real pleasant way as far as the way that things are going to go down, the process of the world ending. If you don't believe in the Bible, it really doesn't change much as far as thinking about the end, because every country, every civilization, every system of government comes to an end. So if you believe in history, you're going to come up with the same conclusion that a lot of these countries and nations don't end peacefully. Now to conclude today, we show you kind of a cool collector type thing that I got. It's also a little bit of an investment. I got this guy. This is Mr. Mosin. Mr. Mosin-Nagant M9130. I got him for $100. And right now, when I bought him, prices were going up. So right now, you probably couldn't find a rifle like this for under $150. So it's already gone up by 50% of what I paid for it. But it's a cool rifle, bolt action. You can load it with these cool stripper clips. It's got pretty big rounds. Got some Liberty teeth there, and you just slide this down in here like so. And see if I can do it so you can see. Push this in. And now you've got it ready to fire. So yeah, Mosin-Nagant M9130. It's the rifle that pushed the Germans back out of Russia and basically kind of won the war for the Russians. It's kind of a crude, old school rifle. They made millions of them. They're still relatively affordable, but prices on all of these are going up. Just thought it'd be cool to show you that. The end.